Hi, my name is Sydney Call, and in this video I'm going to be talking about digestion. The last video that I talked about was all about diet being the foundation of our health. And today I'd like to talk about the digestion. It's the key to unlocking the nutrients in a good diet that we spent so much time making and consuming. As a definition of digestion, it is the breakdown of our food into usable nutrients that are then absorbed and used by the cells of our body. A good diet is expensive and time intensive, and I want to tell you that it will only do a fraction of the good that it can do unless we digest it properly. So I'm going to tell you about the process of digestion to educate you on this process, and it is a north to south process. So I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Digestion starts north in the brain. And when we approach eating time, we need to be in a calm, relaxed, parasympathetic state, ready to rest and digest, approach our food calmly with deep breaths, maybe pray over our food, express gratitude for it, be ready to consume it in a very restful state. And then we have our food in front of us, we smell it, we are present, we're not thinking about all of our to-do lists, we're enjoying the smell of our food and the taste of our food, and we chew it thoroughly, and we mix it with saliva because saliva begins the digestive process. We then swallow this food, which is now called a bolus. It goes down our esophagus through the esophageal sphincter into our stomach, which is where our body releases a lot of digestive juices. One of them, very important, being stomach acid. Stomach acid is critical for sanitizing our food. If there's any foodborne illnesses in our food or any parasites, the stomach acid helps to mitigate that risk to our health by killing and treating these things as proteins, which is the other thing that it does. It breaks down our proteins for us, which is essential for our health. We need to have these building blocks, and they're pretty difficult to digest, but stomach acid does this job for us. And so it sits there in our stomach and it is mixed with these digestive juices. We call it the churning and the burning of our food. And so at a certain point, it is released into the small intestine through the pyloric sphincter. And then in the small intestine, the first part of it's called the duodenum, some more digestion takes place. So if it's the proper pH, which means it's the proper acidity level, it'll release a hormone, which will then go to, it's called secretin. It then goes to our pancreas, which will signal the pancreas to release digestive enzymes and also to release some bicarbonate, which is kind of like Tums, and it neutralizes the acid for the rest of the digestion process. So it releases those two things. The enzymes will then break down the food into smaller, more usable nutrients. And then if our food has a good fat in it, it will then signal another hormone called cholecystokinin, or CCK, and it will go to the gallbladder and signal the gallbladder to contract and release its bile into the small intestine. And so this bile will emulsify and break down into smaller pieces those fat particles in our food, which then can allow the digestive enzymes from the pancreas to digest further our oils, which are very critical to be absorbed for our health. So it continues on. That's kind of where the digestive process stops, and then the rest of it is really absorption. So it continues through the small intestine, which has a very large surface area and absorbs all the nutrients that it can from this food that's been properly digested. It also has some really good guys, some good bacteria that help to protect and nourish the lining of our small intestine. And then it passes through the ileocecal valve to our large intestine, where there's more good bacteria which protect and nourish the lining of our colon. And it also will digest the waste products and turn them into vitamins that nourish both our body and also our colon. The health of our colon depends on these good balance of bacteria. And then the rest of the waste is excreted, and that is the whole north to south process of digestion.